Welcome everybody. Today we're going to take a look at a really neat little plasma cutter. The Lodos Technology Company did send me this plasma cutter to check out. I said I would review it, and if I thought positively about it, I would put it on the channel. And I do feel pretty positive about this piece of equipment. You know, it really does the things that they say it will do. And it does them pretty well at a really great price point. So I felt good about, looking at this with you. And, I have experienced other lower cost welding and plasma cutting devices and had kind of mixed results with those in the past. Some very good, some not so very good. This has actually been excellent. So this unit does have a pilot arc, which simply means that you don't need to have it touch the material in order to get the arc started. It's going to do that for you. That option does cost a little bit more money, but it's actually well worth it because a pilot arc can also continue across breaks in a material, like if you're doing expanded metal or something like that. It can allow that machine to continue to cut even though it loses that continuity. But the advent of plasma cutters in metalworking has been phenomenal. It gives us tremendous power at a relatively low cost in the hands of even the DIYer. So, let's get a look at this. First of all, the torch that comes with it is actually really nice. I was impressed with this. They do give you a little bit of consumables with it, so bravo to them for that. We're going to hook this up here in a second, and it's really, really simple. But one thing I want to take a minute to highlight is the quality of this manual. It's actually got some really good information in it on setup and material thicknesses and what current and stuff you want to start with. Most of the manual like this is going to be a guideline to kind of get you started. Then you can fine tune it as you go. But as you'll notice right here on the air gauge, it actually has recommended ranges for the air pressure that you want on the nozzle when you're cutting. And one thing I will point out is you want to look at the pressure while the unit is running. And I know that's challenging because you're trying to focus on what it's doing, but in order to get the right setting, I have found you really, because it's going to drop a little bit when the unit is flowing air, and I usually bump that value up just a little bit to get the results that I want. Well, we're going to take a look at cutting 3 different thicknesses of materials that I have here. They're all steel, mild steel. I've got 16 gauge, I've got 3/16, and I've got some 1/2 inch. And let's get this hooked up and see what it's got. So first, the torch. The torch has got 3 connections. This is the air connection, so this is going to go right down here, and it just simply threads in, no tools needed. It's got a nice knurled cap here. Want to bring that in and just bring it snug. You don't need to crush that. The next thing you're going to want to hook up is the high frequency start. Put that on there. And then you've got the low voltage, low current connections that go to the torch for the controls. And that's it, your torch is done. I mean, no tools required for anything. And then the ground is just a twist lock. I would have preferred that they gave us a little longer ground lead than this. But you gotta hit that cost point, right? What I will say that is a positive about this ground clamp, and I'll get you a quick view here right in close. It does have a really big copper braid linking the 2 copper jaws together. What that means is in a cheaper version of this clamp, you can find that they will allow the current to try to flow through this pivot point. And when it does that, it generally ends up burning the clamp up or not providing a really good electrical ground. So kudos to them for putting this braid in and actually getting a really good connection there. So I'm going to put my PPE on, and then we're going to take a couple of quick test cuts and just put this thing through its paces so you can see what it's like to cut with this plasma cutter. Going to go ahead and turn the machine on. This number right here is going to show us the current. Right now it's on 15 amps, which is just about right for this 16 gauge material. So let's go ahead and get set up and do a cut on this 16 gauge material. I already have my ground hooked up and a guide just to give me a straight cut. I'm not cutting anything for anything right now. I'm just doing a demo cut. We're going to do a freehand cut on this 3/16, and for that I'm going to take the power up to about 35. Next up, we'll go through this 1/2 inch. Going to take it all the way up to 50. Also going to bring the pressure up a bit as well. Yeah, not a problem, like a knife through butter. This little Lotos LTP 5000D is quite a nice little machine for the money. It's definitely going to be my go-to tool for getting through some anything that's conductive. It'll cut the dickens out of. So, well, folks, if you like this review, please do consider picking one of these up. You can use my link down in the comments below. That gives the channel a little boost. And remember that I won't rep anything on this channel that I don't honestly believe is good value. And I think this little Lotos machine does present a really interesting value proposition for the DIY hobbyist level fabricator. You can definitely do some quality work with it.